Well, hello and welcome to episode 264 of Drink the Movies. I'm Brian here as always with Michaela, and we are coming back with another video version of the podcast. So, welcome, Michaela. Welcome to episode 264. Welcome back to video. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I hope you can see me and hear me okay. Uh,
Yeah,
264. Wow.
that's pretty good.
That's this is only like the fourth or fifth time we've been live. So, you look great. You're in
Thank
your
you.
studio.
I
That's
am. Yeah,
awesome.
that's right. I swapped out my poster. I've got the episode one poster up behind me. And if you want to see our smiling faces, you can do that on Spotify or on YouTube. I think iTunes might be getting, or Apple Podcasts, whatever it's called now, might be getting video in the future. I don't know that much about that, but we'll keep you tuned there. But if you want to see what's going on here on the video version of the podcast, go check it out in one of those places because today we're talking about something pretty fun. It's kind of ties in. I feel like we keep doing these crossover episodes, and we talked about The Wizard a couple weeks ago as like a crossover episode with Drink the Video Games and like how it like tied into Nintendo, like 1989. Shameless plug there for Drink the Video Games. Go listen to that. But I feel like even that was like a commercial for Nintendo, but this is like 10 times a commercial for Mario. Today we're talking about Mario Galaxy. What do you think? Just kind of initial reactions, I guess, coming in. Then we're going to get into the cocktail a little bit. But I don't. I was watching it last night. I was loving it. I was having a good time. But I was like, if you don't know anything about Mario, then this movie probably doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's really interesting, I was wondering how they were going to top it from the Super Mario movie that came out a couple years ago, right? Where everybody was um excited about what was happening in the world and how much nostalgia was going to be in it,
Hmm.
what the graphics were going to be like, if it was going to pay homage to all of the Super Marios or just one, two, and three from the original Nintendo, or how the Super Nintendo was versions, and then there was the 3D Mario, right? And how all of that was going to play out. And so I was interested to see how this was going to juxtaposition that,
Hmm.
or if it was just going to be like a reboot, or if it was going to be a sequel, and yeah, spoiler warning, I think we should probably start off with that and say, look, if you've never played any of these video games, you might want to just
Yeah.
just go YouTube someone else playing it. You know what, Brian?
Is
Drink the
there?
video
Yeah.
games. Go
I'll
watch
play it.
Brian play it.
Yeah. Yeah.
um
In fairness,
and
I've
so you
never
won't be
I've never
completely
played
lost.
Super Mario Galaxy. In fairness, I've never played that. I don't know that that's important because this pulls from a lot of Mario out there. Maybe there's like a Cliff's Notes for Mario, which is weird. That's actually something I'm going to talk about here as we get into the episode a little bit. But yeah, it was just I was sitting back. I was like, if you don't know, like it's not even like lore. If you don't know like the things from the movie or from the game,
Mm.
then you're probably totally at a loss. It reminds me, I guess, of the Minecraft film we covered. We'll talk about that here in a minute too. But let's go ahead and get into the cocktail here for this. Michaela, you were kind enough to make a video of yourself making it, and I'm pretty excited about this one because this cocktail I was pretty proud of. It was pretty inspired. I found it, and I thought that it hit a bunch of notes. We'll talk about it here in a second. But first, let's see Michaela make it.
Hey y'all, it's Michaela from Drink the Movies. And I don't know about you, but I think I'm going to make a drink with a flask of sake in honor of the Mario Galaxy movie. Let's do it. So, in true, I don't know, Michaela fashion, we're going to start with an egg white. There's an egg white in there. Yeah, we're going to do a dry shake because I want this to be extra creamy. So, this is my flask full of sake. I'm real excited about it. And I'm going to do 2 ounces of this. Okay. I'm going to add that to an ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. Okay. Fresh squeezed lemon juice, an ounce. Okay. Okay. I'm going to add that to half an ounce of honey syrup. For those of you that don't know, honey syrup is usually like 2 parts honey, 1 part water, and you heat until the honey kind of melts. You could do 3 parts honey if you wanted it to be extra like syrupy. The secret to this bad boy is going to be apple juice. Now, I would do like fresh pressed apple juice, but I couldn't find any. So we're going to do 2 full ounces of that. All right. We're going to dry shake this, which means we're not going to add any ice. I'm going to try not to have it explode. We'll see what happens. I don't know why, but when you add egg white to something, it like really wants it to explode. So you just got to be real careful. when you open it. Okay, yeah, didn't explode it. Now I'm gonna add ice because we still want it cold. Warm egg, not so great. There we go. Let's see. Ooh, so pretty. Now I think that this is gonna look a lot more golden if you have better quality apple juice, to be honest. That's probably what I would do is if I were going to make this again, is get some fresh apple juice or like Martinelli's. But there you go. Let's give it a taste. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. Thanks for watching.
All right, so there is the uh, cocktail that Michaela made. So that was pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome. So what we made was the apple honey sake sour, which is pretty good cocktail. Michaela, I sent this to you, and over the last couple of weeks we've done a bunch of like themed cocktails, and generally speaking, I think cocktails that we do here on the podcast come into like three categories basically. So
Mm,
there's cocktails that are like featured in the film, right? That's
yep.
one of the categories. You have a cocktail that is inspired by the film, which is what I think this is, and then you have like cocktails that are like inspired by like the aesthetic of the film, right? So like
Mm,
last week we
mm,
did, the ooze cocktail for the turtles. We did
mm,
you did that awesome cocktail for Project Hail Mary a couple weeks ago, and those were more inspired by like the aesthetic of the film,
mm,
right? So I feel like those kind of three characters, but this one was inspired kind of by the film and kind of by the game, Super Mario Brothers, and inspired really by Yoshi here, as you just saw on the end of that video. So the apple honey sake sour, actually. Actually, sake, of course, reigns from Japan, same as Mario, and it features apple, which is what you're eating a bunch of there in our introduction to Yoshi there in Super Mario World. So that's why I wanted to do this cocktail. So run through the recipe real quick again: 2 ounces of sake, 2 ounces of apple juice, 1 ounce of lemon juice, a half an ounce of honey syrup, and an egg white. Michaela, what did you think about this one?
So I thought it was really delicious. This is really going to depend on two things, and I talk about it a little bit in the video. But I think the thing that's going to make this really shine is if you have good quality sake, and if you have good quality apple juice, because they're 2 ounces of that each.
Hmm.
And as you could see, I was using like a store-bought apple juice, and that's fine. But it's probably not going to give it the same like sumptuousness as if you're going to get like a really like hand pressed
Yeah,
apple
like a fresh
juice or one of
press kind of
those.
thing.
Yeah,
Hmm.
one of those. That's going to really make a difference in the color. That's going to make a difference in the viscosity of it, and the sweetness of it, I think, and just the depth of apple you get. And then of course the sake, right? Like the sake that I had is really nice. It's run of the mill. It looked like I loved it. It was the smallest bottle I could get because I don't want it to go bad. Sake
Hmm.
is not like other liqueur or liquor to me anyway. I can tell when it's been a week and it doesn't taste the same because it's got like wine in it, right? So I only wanted a little bit, and so I got my flask of sake, and it was pretty good. But mine had like a floral quality at the end.
Hmm.
Um, and so it's really just going to depend on like the level, the kind of sake that you want to have. With if you want it to have like a really clean finish, or if you're going to have a flavored sake, that's gonna have an impact on the flavor profile for this for sure.
Yeah, and the recipe we were using did not have like a specific like range or type of sake that you're using,
Mhm.
but generally speaking, there are, kind of a range of sakes here. Let me if I get to the right screen here, I can pull this up. I found online. I thought it might be useful. I don't know how familiar you are with sake, just like in general,
Mm,
Michaela, but basically to make sake, you're taking the rice that they're using to make it, and then it is polished to different levels. So basically, it kind of like tumbling like rocks or anything like that. It's just kind of tumbled, and it just strips away like the outer like protective coat of the rice. And depending on how much of that they do is how you get the different grades of rice. So it start or the different grades of sake. So it starts out with the junmai, which is what I used for my cocktail. It's I don't want to say it's like the lower end, but it's kind of like the base level. Think of it if you're thinking of like a bourbon, right? It's like aged like less time, but this is like polished less. So it could be
Mm,
up to like less than or equal to 100% of the rice coat is still in there. So you go from Junmai and then you go to Junmai Jinjo, which is the next one up. It could be up to like 60% of the outer coats of the rice left. And then the Junmai Daijinjo is the more polished one of those. I actually prefer like the Junmai or the Junmai Jinjo over the Daijinjo because I think that it has more character to it.
mm,
Like they get
mm,
really, really clean tasting kind of after that. And I mean, you can see here I have a bottle. This is just a Junmai from Hanagoi. There goes my poster. That's cool. So there's that. This says that you can keep it bottled for up consume it within 2 weeks, but it shows right there
mm,
70% on the polish, and you can see just like how like
mm-hmm,
clear that is. So yeah, so it gets like progressively more clear. So I think if you're doing a cocktail, something like that, and I also think this cocktail would have been really good if you would have used something like a Japanese whiskey
mm.
to kind of nudge it up a little bit because this thing is awfully clean. It is awfully delicate tasting. It's like a gossamer in a glass is kind of what I thought about it. But I thought that it was good, and I thought that it was a little bit more inspired. I didn't want to do something kitschy again for Mario because we already did that for the first Mario. So I don't know any other notes. Are you a fan of sake like otherwise?
I
You go out to the
do.
sushi restaurant, you get sake. What's the deal?
I do if it's special. I got to be in the right mood for it because it does have like a um I don't know, it's got like it definitely has a flavor to it that if you're not I don't know, if you don't like sake, I think it can be quite polarizing. There's
Mhm.
also like hot sake versus chilled sake. I think hot sake is only if you are going to a club or something. I don't know. It just reminds me of Tony Stark in the very first Iron Man, where he's like hot sake, and his friend is like, absolutely not, we're not doing hot sake. And then a minute later, the next scene is them like with hot sake, and they're in a club that's on a plane or something.
Oh yeah.
So I think I prefer cold sake, but I do like it. I haven't done enough research. I think that was really helpful to understand because I think mine was on the opposite end of where yours was, which was why it was so like floral and light. And it wasn't clear, but it was much lighter
Mhm.
in color. Like it was, the flask actually was like and I don't have it with me, but it was like a frosted color, and that's what
Okay.
added most of the color to the sake
The color to
itself.
it.
So
Sure.
that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I really think that if you wanted to do like a really grown up drink that is inspired, I mean, this was pretty great. I'm good job finding it because
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was gonna do. I was looking at red and blue stuff, and
Yeah.
this was good.
Yeah. I just kind of picked a regular old Junmai there and I use that for my cocktail. But I think this would be great if you're doing like, ordering in some like nice sushi or doing like ramen at night. This would be perfectly good with that. And if you had any fun Mario cocktails while you went out to see Mario Galaxy or have had Mario cocktails if you've been to Universal Studios, anything like that, send those our way because I looked at some of those too, but like I said, we've done a couple of those cocktails in a row, so I wanted something a little bit more sophisticated here this month. So let's go ahead and talk about the movie. You already gave kind of a spoiler warning. Do you want to give an official one here now, Michaela, as we're
Spoiler warning
going?
for Super Mario Galaxy. If you've not yet seen it, we're going to talk about all the things. And while we're at it, I should probably say spoiler warning for the video game Super Mario Galaxy, which I guess came out in 2007. Uh,
Mm,
I've not
fair,
actually
yeah.
played that game very much at all. So, but we're going to talk about all those things. So if you don't want that to be spoiled, you need to press pause, go make yourself up a Super Mario uh, apple sour because it's a sake sour because it's amazing, and then go watch the film, go play the video game, come back, and we can chat about it.
Yeah, go play the game, go watch the movie. Everyone's already been out to see the movie because it's already made like $700 million. I do think as we went to the movie theater and saw it last night ourselves, we were the only five people that were in the movie theater. So I think it's probably not going to achieve the same heights that the first entry of the film did. Most of the feedback I've seen on the film itself kind of reflects that. I'm gonna save kind of my overall thoughts about
Mm.
the movie here until we get into the end. But yeah, if you haven't had a chance to see it, it did just come out about 2 weeks ago. So go check it out. It is, I don't know, like Illumination. They do most notably they do like the Despicable Me and Minions things. They do some
Mm.
other films as well, but and maybe it's because we grew up in a time where we had computers that had like, I don't know, like one and a half colors on them. Like Illumination has access to like colors that I didn't even know existed. Like there's something about the way that they look. They're so colorful. Like it just like blows the mind.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just painted like in an animated film. It's not computer generated. It's something otherworldly for sure. Especially in like the opening scene when you have all of the stars that are all the colors of the rainbow, and then some more that I didn't even know existed. Some invention, some new inventions of color.
New colors,
Um,
yeah.
and
100%.
Princess uh, Rosaline. I hope I'm saying that right.
Rosalina, yeah, you were pretty close.
Rosalina.
Rosalina.
Yeah, yeah. And she's just like, oh, it's my babies. And they're literally hundreds and hundreds of stars. You know what it reminded me of? That piece
Yeah.
reminded me of the animated film Over the Moon that
Oh,
came
okay.
out maybe 6 years ago, where the moon goddess's tears
Hmm.
but not as vibrant. The colors in the Super Mario Galaxy were much more just bold and rich. Really, really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, you have all the Lumas there at the beginning, right? That Princess Rosalina's in charge of, and there's about 10 million of them, and they're each one a different color. It's pretty impressive stuff to that end. Yeah, Princess Rosalina, she hails from the Super Mario Galaxy game, so
Mm.
that's kind of where we get her, and the film gets started with her. Let's just run through this cast here real quick because most of it is. Reprising their roles from the first film. We've got Chris Pratt is back as Mario, Anya Taylor-Joy is back as Princess Peach, Charlie Day is back as Luigi, and Jack Black is back as Bowser. Keegan-Michael Key is back as Toad there. And then we got some newcomers this time. Princess Rosalina, she's being voiced by Brie Larson. Donald Glover is Yoshi. Benny Safdie is Bowser Jr. I think that Bowser Jr. might have been in the first one. I don't really remember that much. And then we have Glenn Powell as Fox McCloud. Star Fox himself right there in the movie, breaking boundaries beyond the Mario Galaxy, I guess, as it were. It's a multiverse kind of a thing. Thanks, Marvel.
Mm.
So we got all that stuff. We got all that stuff. And we're getting into the movie. We start with Princess Rosalina there, and she's being captured by Bowser Jr. And it turns out the Super Mario Galaxy movie is really just a tale of fathers and sons and reconnection at its heart. If there's a
Yeah.
story there at all, that's it.
That's pretty much it, actually. And maybe a little bit of redemption, like people can change and grow, Bowser, um and I'll say this outright, like I didn't understand what connection this had to the Super Mario Galaxy video game. Like I didn't know if it
Hmm.
was following a storyline.
Hmm.
I didn't
Hmm.
know if this was like a new kind of storyline that was just using pieces of the game to kind of tell the story. I didn't really know because I hadn't played a lot of Super Mario Galaxy at all.
Right. Hmm.
So, but I really loved that, Bowser is basically put to rights. Like he's living in this little miniature castle because they make him about the size of a teacup. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah.
But he's still like so angry and so mad and still trying to like reform himself. And Luigi is giving him a chance, and Mario doesn't trust him at all. But then when he gets bigger and he gets rescued, he takes the lessons that he's learned with him, and he kind of realizes how his behavior has impacted his child, and how like every minute is a chance to turn it all around. And I
Mhm.
thought that that was really cool. But yeah, I mean that's it in a nutshell. It's basically if you have a son, or you have a father or a son figure or a father figure or a nephew or an uncle or somebody, take them to see this because it's a really
Take them to see
cute
it.
little father child um film. But that
Yeah.
that is it at its core. I mean, it's just, ugh.
I I guess also if you have a sister, a long lost
Yeah.
sister, it can play
Oh.
into that. It can play into that too. Yeah, I was also interested in this. I will say that the film does. You'd mentioned you weren't sure if it was going to be kind of like a continuation of that first one, if it was going to be like its
Mm.
own thing, or kind of like an anthology kind of a thing. But it does sort of pick up on where the first movie ended, right? Because I think Bowser is turned small. I think in that, right? Like that's his punishment. Is I think they miniaturize him there, so that carries over. We also get the post-credit scene. Thanks Marvel again, of the little Yoshi egg at the end of the first Mario film. So Yoshi is coming to fruition here. And Yoshi is a fun character. Probably my favorite character in Mario. That's it doesn't put me in any sort of rarefied air because I think a lot of people really love Yoshi, but I've always held Yoshi really close. I remember back when like the Super Nintendo came out, I would go to Walmart and play it on the little like store kiosk for like 2 years before I was able to finally get my own Super Nintendo. So I've always had a soft spot for Yoshi there being my favorite character. So that was pretty cool. It was fun when they like introduce him and it's kind of like this little like montage of him, walking through the town. I don't know that it did like that good of a job of like introducing the character, but it was kind of fun. It was kind of fun. We were sitting in the movie last night and I'm like, this script could not have been very long because it was just a lot of like fun having, and that's exactly what's going on. So we get Princess Rosalina is taken by Bowser Jr. Right? She goes,
Hmm.
thanks a lot, Luma. Stay in. She told you to stay indoors, kid. Stay inside. Uh,
Stay inside.
gets Princess Rosalina caught. That's not good. So then they send out for help. If I'm ever in trouble or if we're ever in trouble, reach out to Princess Peach. She's going to help us, and Princess Peach does. She and Toad go off to try to find Princess Rosalina, and probably the best part of the whole movie, in my estimation, actually strike that down. The second best part of the whole movie, in my estimation, is when Mario and Luigi get left in charge of Mushroom Kingdom, and they're looking at this map, and it is just like the overworld map for Super Mario World, and it's amazing, and it shows like the trouble they're having, and then they're like playing through like these little like video game levels. That was pretty epic. That was pretty fun. That was a good time, and then that comes full circle because they basically lose the castle in the course of them trying to take care of this place.
Yeah, the castle gets destroyed or taken up in the air. Yeah. No, I thought that that was really cool because that took me right back to, I believe, Super Mario 3.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
or right? Where you had these worlds within the world. So like certain levels were like different types of worlds, and I loved some of the paying homage to like he became a frog, so he got to Mario could swim. That was really
Yeah.
neat. And at first I was like, is he a little Yoshi? And then I like immediately, it's cute.
Shout out to friend of the pod, Paige, who gave me her Happy Meal toy, which was the
Oh,
Luigi in the frog suit. Yeah, from
I
Super
love
Mario
it.
Brothers 3. That was my favorite suit from the game. It wasn't very
Yeah.
useful in the game, truth be told, unless you're on a water level, but yeah, that got some representation here in
But
Super
the
Mario
water level
Galaxy.
was so cool. Like I thought that that was really neat. They even did now I think and I needed to check with you because we have not really talked about this, but I think they have remember the squirrel tail where he could like
Yeah.
spin and go up and
Hmm.
down. Like
Yeah.
I remember him being a drill, okay, the head with the drill, but he was a squirrel, right? In the movie. For even if it was just for a second or two, he becomes he gets the squirrel tail, which was my favorite because I didn't understand it at all. I was like,
So
I don't know why this is happening, but I just loved him running around with a little. See,
So,
there he is,
so
or a
you were speaking
raccoon.
of the Tanuki suits, yeah, from
Okay.
Mario 3. He does don that in the first film. I don't think he does in this one. He does wear the cape, which comes from Super
Okay.
Mario World, and then there were some other power-ups. You can go a bunch of places, have all the power up kind of listed throughout there. But yeah, that's the Tanuki suits, and I have to show this since we're on video because the Tanuki is an actual little Japanese. They call it like a raccoon dog. And that's what it looks like. It looks like those little guys right there. Isn't that cute? It's like a little fat panda raccoon.
Oh my gosh,
Michaela's going to go to
that's
Japan and find one on the side of
steal
the road
one.
and bring it
Bring it,
home.
bring it
Bring it
home.
home.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's pretty fun. That's
That
pretty
is
fun.
adorable. Oh my
So you said
gosh.
you said you wanted to talk about it. I was like, we got to get a picture of that going
Yeah.
100%. That's fun. That's fun. Yeah, that's my favorite suit too. But yeah, I do like the frog, and the frog was represented there. Um yeah, to get back to kind of that original question that you posed, right? Was this going to be about the
Mhm.
game Mario Galaxy? And yeah, kind of. I mean, Princess Rosalina, she comes from that game. So kind of the initial setup, I guess, kind of is
Mm.
similar to there, where like Rosalina, I think. gets captured, or like her castle of Lumas gets captured.
Hmm.
I think in that game to there, but really it's like a hodgepodge of everything Mario, like back from like the original like 8-bit Mario, like all the way up. I it's kind of fun at the end of the film when Bowser and Bowser Jr. are tracking like Mario and Luigi through like the Bowser Land or Bowser World or planet or whatever it's called, and they're like watching them on this like CCTV station kind of thing, and it's like showing it as like the 8-bit Mario. That was kind of fun. I thought that was good. I like the when they finally defeat Bowser and they jump over him and cut down the drawbridge, and it shows the way that that looked there in
Hmm.
the game. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So stuff like that was pretty neat and really paying homage to like the games and the stuff in the games, and it was even paying homage to like things that were from different games. So we had
Hmm.
Star Fox in this for some reason. The people out there are assuming it's because they're going to try to eventually tie this into like a Super Smash Bros. Kind of a
Hmm.
thing. I don't know if you're familiar with that game series. It's like a big fighting thing of all the Nintendo characters, basically. So is that the way that
Yes.
it's going to go? I don't know for sure, but we have Glen Powell here as Fox McCloud. That's pretty fun. He's basically the Fox version of himself from Maverick. So there you go. Glem
Yeah, yeah.
Glem Powell. He got that type and he just nailed it. He's like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do it real good.
Real good for the rest. I mean, hey man, he's
Yeah,
running all the way to the bank. Good on him, you know. And he didn't have to like give up carbs for 18 months to do this one because it's just his voice, right?
that's true.
That's
That's
awesome.
true.
Um, Now, and one of the things, and you'll have to, you're the video game expert, and if we haven't already, let me do another shameless plug. Drink the video games, go look at it because it's amazing. But one of the
Yep.
things that I loved seeing was when Bowser gets captured, or we think it's the end for Bowser because he goes into that pool of lava or fire. And I am actually really upset by that watching it because the poor
Wow.
kid is like watching his father die, basically, you
The
think.
kid
And
was
then
going to destroy the entire galaxy. What do you mean you feel sorry for this kid? This
I
kid
feel
is the
sorry for the
worst.
kid. I feel sorry for him losing his dad. That was it. The rest of, but then I was also like, oh gosh,
Fine.
now we got to deal with this little turd. But
Yeah,
then he comes
that's
back
fair.
up and he's the skeleton, and I was like, I remember this. I remember this. I don't know where I remember it from, but I totally remember Bowser being a skeleton, a giant skeleton, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you got a couple of
yeah,
good like dry bones, I think are what the like Koopas are called when they're just
yeah.
little skeleton versions of those. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. So yeah, so it's just like tons of like shout outs and call outs to things from the video game. So like, yeah, it's back to my point. Like if you didn't like know any of these things, then you were at a complete loss. My favorite kind of callback is when they go to the casino world. I don't know if the casino world exists somewhere. It might have been in the or Mario Odyssey
Mm,
game potentially. I'm not 100% sure. But they go and like the crime boss there is Wart, who's like the main bad
oh,
guy in Super Mario 2. And you have
hmm.
like Birdo and the other one there from Super Mario 2. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty fun. I liked that one quite a bit. And yeah, I mean it was just kind of a fun time. I did learn a little bit about Princess Rosalina because like I said, I never played Mario Galaxy, so I was not super familiar with that. And it's actually interesting because I've mentioned a couple of times now that if
Hmm.
you didn't know these characters and like what game they were from, you probably didn't know that much about what was going on in the game. And you think about it, and the movie starts, and it's like 40th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers, which is pretty cool. All right,
Yep,
pretty
yep.
old there. It's making us feel old as we're seeing that, but it's bringing back all the nostalgia feels, so that's nice. But really, Mario didn't have like a story, like an overarching story other than Bowser kidnapped the princess and Mario went to save her. It didn't have like a story too much until the Mario Galaxy game, I guess, and they come up with Princess Rosalina and Shigeru Miyamoto, who is kind of the creator of Mario, like the big creative head, at Nintendo and all this stuff, talked about it a little bit, and that there was it wasn't really like a mandate, but it was just kind of a thing where you weren't really
Mm.
going to give like these games like that much story, right? They were just meant to like be games and kind of exist like as themselves, which is why if you try to look at any sort of like Legend of Zelda like timeline, like it's completely insane to try to like jump through the hoops to make it make any sense. So same kind of thing here, but Mario Galaxy is where they start to dig into that a little bit.
Mm.
There's like a picture book kind of a thing that talks about Princess Rosalina and stuff like that. And when Princess Rosalina was first designed, she was designed to be Princess Peach's sister, which is why they look so close. But that idea was actually scrapped for the game, and spoiler warning, it is not scrapped for the movie.
Right, right. Yeah, they're basically the same, only one of them is wearing pink and one of them is not. Almost the same hairstyle, too, which is
Similar
probably
hair.
great for the animators. Yeah. But I don't know. So yes, I remember it might have been Smash Brothers where I learned about Princess Rosalina or um Mario Kart. Was she in Mario Kart? Maybe. I don't know, but I remember her showing up and I remember years ago being like, who is this? Is this another princess? And then there's like a Princess Daisy. And I'm like, where
Mhm.
are all these princesses coming from? And so yeah. Apparently we started with the story in Mario Galaxy. But I don't know. I think that that's also one of the beautiful things about it is it made a boatload of money. It was highly entertaining. I mean, if you like the bright
Mhm.
colors, it's probably great for kids. It was short enough to where it didn't bore you, even though it was a very slim kind of one line kind of storyline. But I think that that's the thing about it is that it was just very much a just kind of an adventure. And Mario, he still really loves Princess Peach. He still hasn't told her how he felt. That's still happening.
Yeah,
He's
they give
just
him a hard
this.
time about it. So
I
that's
mean, he's
fun.
he's tried to he's rescued her in like 18 different levels over three different games. You'd think at this
Well,
point she would drop a clue and be like, maybe he likes me a little bit. I don't know, but
I mean that was the best line in the whole thing was when they reunite and she goes into like give him a hug and he goes for like a handshake. He's like, I thought a handshake would be cool. She's like,
you know,
and like Yoshi and Luigi are looking at him like he's a knucklehead because he is.
yeah,
So that's
fools.
pretty fun. That's pretty fun. Um, yeah, so we've got this. It comes on the tail end of the Super Mario Brothers movie, which came out. When did that come out? 2023?
23.
Is that right? Dang, that was a long time ago. It seems like it was so much
Yesterday.
so much quicker than that. But yeah, I guess it turns out that's where it comes from. So my main, I guess, like takeaway from that first movie was like it was fun. It was very colorful. It looked gorgeous. The characters were fun. Like I had a good time with it, but there wasn't a lot story wise going with the first one. So I was hoping that they got the first one like out of the way. It made like $1.5 billion. Maybe we'll start to flesh this thing out a little bit more. And they actually like. I think like went the other direction. Like, so the Super Mario Brothers film seems like I don't know, like an American like epic compared to what sort of content you're getting out of Mario Galaxy. So that's kind of interesting. But Mario has a long lineage of movies, and we talked about one of them just a couple of weeks ago, Michaela, and that was The Wizard. You can even see a little Mario right there in the poster. He's up there
Hmm.
flying away. So we talked about that, right? That introduces the world to Super Mario Brothers 3. You get some Super Mario Brothers 2 action in there. And The Wizard was a big commercial for Nintendo, but I don't think it was as much of a big commercial for Nintendo as these last two movies are, to be completely honest, if you've ever seen any of those. So we've got those. That was our introduction to Mario being on the big screen. And then, of course, we have the incomparable Super Mario Bros, which is pretty amazing, which is pretty amazing. So I actually did a poll on Instagram. I forgot to pull the numbers here to say, but it actually was an even split between what was people's favorite Mario Brothers movie, with half of the audience saying this movie right here, Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, Dennis Hopper, taking in half of the votes, and then the 2023 version of Mario there getting half of the vote. So an even split. Have you ever seen this one, Michaela?
Yes, I believe I saw it once. Um,
And that was
I
enough,
don't
or
remember. I don't remember Dennis Hopper. Is he
he's
Bowser?
Bowser.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Okay. Dennis Hopper, you went from Easy Rider to being Bowser. I mean, I guess, did this make money? I guess it did. I mean,
I mean, it almost certainly made some money. I don't know if it made, I
I
don't know
don't
if it
know if
made
it
that
made
much money.
enough.
Like it's bonkers. That has a 4.2 star rating on IMDb. As a Mario
Out
Brothers
of 10 or out of 5?
thing out of 50. No, I don't know. Out of 10. As a Mario and Luigi story, it's terrible. As like a weird dystopian sci-fi thing, I think it's pretty good. So if you're watching it through the right lens, but Dennis Hopper, yeah, King Koopa is who is playing in this. I will say. probably made a lot more money to do that than he did for Easy Rider. So there you go.
Probably. They
Yeah.
probably paid him a boatload of money to do it. And can't blame him there. I bet he did it really well. I don't remember. I'm sure I saw it because I do remember like them coming out of the tubes, the
Oh
green
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
like tubes and landing in like trash or something. I do remember that. But yeah, that's interesting. Because I do remember thinking that this film was going to be the start that apparently the 2023 version is, right? Which
All
is
right.
the beginning of this galaxy where now there's going to be different universes and Nintendo stuff is just going to happen all over the place. And what other are they going to have a duck hunt
Ah, that'll be good.
movie. That'd be kind of cool. Like, what I don't know what storyline they would have. The vegans would probably really hate that, but maybe it's like like maybe that would be like a cool twist on it. I don't know. But
That'll be good.
yeah, but
Would it
I
be
think
good?
that
I
that's
don't
what
know.
they were thinking that this was going to be, and it didn't happen. So
No, in fact, it happened so poorly they didn't even make Nintendo didn't let them make any more movies about anything for
they're like
30 years until
you're done.
the last one came out. So that's something. So yeah, half of the votes out there went to Super Mario Bros. Movie. Is it something Michaela and I should watch? Drop a comment down below and let us know. I want to uh, go back to this because in addition to asking people what the best Mario movie was, I wanted to find out what people just thought of in general as, what was the best video game movie. And so
Mm.
we asked, and friend of the pod, Force Time Pod, go listen to Force Time Pod. It's really good. He's covering all the new Mall episodes. It says Mortal Kombat 1995, and I have good news for you, Force Time Pod, because that is the actual correct answer. That is the best video game adaptation film of them all. Is it really? I don't know. It's pretty good. Do you like that one, Michaela? What's your favorite? What's your
Yeah.
favorite?
My favorite video game. Ooh, that's hard. Um, I think I actually might agree with Mortal Kombat because I remember not knowing anything really. I played the game
Mm-hmm.
a couple of times and
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
saw
Mm-hmm.
the movie and was like, oh, I get it. And so it made a story to something that looked just mindless and silly, where you pick a character and you fight to the death, and this was like more like a you all come together and there can only be one and you need to like fight it out and so I kind of like that. I'll tell
Mm-hmm.
you what, I hear that there's a Legend of Zelda coming out in either
Coming out.
2027 or
Yeah.
2028. And I cannot tell you how much I'm excited about that. And I played the original Zelda for like a year of my life. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited about it. I hope there's a bush. I hope that there are secret maps.
Oh yeah.
I hope all the things that I tried to figure out when I was playing the original happen. I hope it doesn't let me down. Um, but gosh, there's quite a few out there that are good. I mean, that were based on video games, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
We've done a couple now. We've done both of these Mario films.
Hmm.
We did the Wizard, which is technically not you know like an adaptation of a video game, but kind of in that same world. You could say the same for Tron, which actually went on to inspire like pretty famous video game there to that end. But there are a couple of other ones. There's been plenty now. Really when they started out, they were so like inconsistent. But talking about that, talking about the Mortal Kombat film, which I just talked about on this month's episode of Drink the Video Games, and then next month I'm going to be talking about Tomb Raider. That was kind of the big one, I think, in terms of like adaptations, because that went on.
Mm.
Angelina Jolie did a couple of those, and then that one's been rebooted a few times. I mean, so that's
Hmm.
been successful enough. Same for like the Resident Evil game
Hmm.
franchise. Silent Hill
Mm.
just released not too long ago. Five Nights at Freddy's. So these movies are coming out now. And probably, I guess, if you were going to say like what is the best one, it's not something that I have seen, but I think if you took like a real scientific study, people would probably say that the Sonic the Hedgehog films could be the best
Oh,
ones. People
yeah.
people really seem to like those. I've not seen them, and I need to rectify that. But I think that those. So certainly the tides have changed since 1993 when Super Mario Brothers came out, and people were like, "What even is like? How do you even do that? How do you adapt a video game? What's a video game? I don't even know." So that's kind of interesting there to that end. But we've covered a couple, right? So the two Mario Brothers movies, which I just mentioned, the first ever one that we did, I think. was Uncharted,
Uncharted, yeah.
which is pretty good. Now that video game is kind of like seeing a movie just unfold like beneath your
Mm,
thumbs on that. Do you remember that one, Michaela? That was early on. We
yeah.
did that one. Do
Oh.
you remember the cocktail? It had Goldschlager in it. We set it on
Oh
fire. That
gosh.
was fun. Had
That was
the little
great.
like sprinkles of cinnamon in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Had
No, that
Tom
was
Holland
good.
in it. Tom
That's
Holland could do no wrong. He was a
amazing.
bartender in it, I believe.
Yeah, he's and we at the time we were excited about the fire, but we were like, oh, he makes a drink like in the very first
In
like
the
10 minutes of it. It was
yeah.
like, oh, guess we could have done that. But ours was cooler. Ours was cooler for sure. And oh, and I'd forgotten. We have not talked about this, but Resident Evil,
Mm.
Jovovich, I'm hoping I'm
Hmm.
saying her name.
Yeah.
There's like 87 of those now, and
Yeah, a bunch of those, yeah.
I remember when the first one came out, and I saw the preview, and I was like, this looks like something I've seen. And I
Okay.
didn't realize that I'd watched, a boyfriend or something play the video game at one point.
Oh,
And
right.
so
Okay.
when I see the film, I was like, I've seen this. I know this. Why do I know this? And so that's one that comes to mind. And Silent Hill, that game is terrifying. One of
Yeah.
them. I mean, there's like six of them, I think. There's a bunch of them, but I watched somebody play one and I was like, how could you this is not for children. Oh my gosh, like Phantasmagoria times 10. There's like a little girl and a giant big thing that like
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
scares you
Scary
and
stuff.
rips your face off. Yeah, not good, not good.
Scary stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Don't watch that. Alone in the dark for sure. Don't play the game Alone in the Dark. It's a very scary game as well. So, yeah. So you have stuff like that, and then obviously, we're into like crossing the bounds into TV stuff. So like The Last
Mm,
of Us and
mm,
Fallout. Things that are like considered to be like prestige, like some of the best television going now are like based on video games, which is pretty cool. And then we, of course, did one other video game movie, a Minecraft movie, because we only talk about video game movies that have Jack Black in them, I guess, is kind of the theme for the pod. Was the Minecraft movie better or worse than Mario? I don't know. They both made a truckload of money, and Mario Galaxy is on its way to making a truckload of money as well. So that's fun. That's fun.
mm.
Michaela, let's circle back here to Mario Galaxy. I think we probably covered the film enough. Bowser Jr. Takes Princess and why didn't Princess Peach and Toad why didn't they go to Mario and be like, hey, Mario and Luigi, could you guys come and help us with this thing?
Not, no, I don't
There's like
know.
10,000 toads and it's their own like place to live. Can they not self-govern for like a minute? You gotta
Gonna
leave Mario and
you're
Luigi
gonna
in
leave
charge.
Mario to it? Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
don't
know.
know. Don't know.
Hard to say. Hard to say. But yeah, so let's circle back. So we've seen the trailer for this a couple of times. We were excited to go see the first Super Mario Brothers movie. Rightfully so. That was a fun time. That was a fun time. And then this was coming out. We knew we were going to see it. We were excited to see it. Obviously, I'd been doing a lot of research on Nintendo for the pod over the last couple of months. So it was excited to go see this. So I guess what were your like expectations for it? You kind of you touched on those a little bit, kind of right up front at the beginning, the
Mm.
expectations. But what were your thoughts like walking out of the movie theater last night?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a I would say it's a solid B. I mean, I'm not a video game fanatic, and I don't know enough about Super Mario Galaxy probably to be maybe the right audience. Maybe I am the right audience because I didn't know enough about it. I still enjoyed the movie.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't think it was too long. Um, I thought that there were parts that were super fun. There were parts that were super nostalgic. Even in the game part where I was like, oh, they're running through the fireballs and stuff. I thought that was really great. Visually, this film is a treat. Just we talked about the colors. I think that the paying homage to like the old like 8-bit a video game that you're looking at and then like the new like they're kind of watching it unfold and it looks like the way it used to look for us. I thought that was really neat. um
Hmm.
so I mean, I think this is a solid film. Is it something that I'm gonna like watch every year? I'm not, because I'm not like a giant Mario Galaxy or Super Mario Brothers fan. But I bet there are people that are going to, and I bet kids are going to really love this film because it does have just that it's got enough story to keep you interested, and then all of the little vignettes of adventures that have to happen
Hmm.
were really a load of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a couple of really cool things that happen in this movie. I thought there were some really neat like artwork kind of things, especially like
Hmm.
the, kind of the it was like coloring book kind of pages almost of like Princess Peach and talking a little bit about her kind of background and how like her relationship with Rosalina, like what that was. I thought that was pretty neat. That was probably the most like fleshed out part of the movie, I
Hmm.
think, and is something that happened over the like like two lines of dialogue basically. So I mean, it's that kind of thin. So I don't know, like. If I'm looking at this like objectively as a movie, is it a good movie? It is. Not really. I like there's not like much like in the way of like story and things to like latch onto, but I they go and they have to rebuild Princess Peach's castle, right? All the Lumas want to go and see the Mushroom Kingdom, right? Because they've heard all these stories about, the plumbers, right? Is the story they hear. So they go back and, Mario and Luigi are like, "Oh yeah, sorry about your castle." And totally got destroyed and they're like, "We have to rebuild it." And then it switches to like the 16-bit version of these. And I'm
Hmm.
watching, on the giant IMAX screen, a little 16-bit Yoshi that I used to stand in line at Walmart to go play when I was, 11 years old or whatever it was. And I see that on screen and I like tear up. So when, they set out to make the film, that's that's what they were going for, right? They weren't going to craft the Godfather Part 4
Right, right.
Super Mario Galaxy, right? They
Well,
were going
sure.
to craft a story that would make, middle-aged dudes and girls who played this game like growing up be like, oh, I remember what it felt like when I was 9 years old and I first put on the little raccoon suit. Like that's exactly what it exists for. So like to that end it did, it elicits a response. So it's terrible and incredible at the same time, I think. So
Yeah, yeah. No, I totally agree. I think if you've not seen it, if you're on the fence about seeing it, I think if you like the Mario world at all, it's worth your time. If you're looking for like the next, Oscar nominated film, this is probably going to get nominated for Best Animated Feature. I would be surprised if it's not,
I
just because it's
I don't
really
remember if the
beautiful.
first one did or not. I don't think that it did actually. So
Oh, that seems
oh,
unfortunate.
you know what it should get nominated for, and it won't because it's existing material. The score for this is
Oh yeah,
freaking bananas. It's so good. It is
it
so
is.
good. I have the first one on vinyl, which is fine. Because I mean it also was really good, but this one is
Hmm.
like really like pulling those
Yeah,
themes out. Chef's kiss.
yeah.
Beautiful.
So good. Yeah, no, that is really good. So yeah, go see it. But yeah, I think anybody that's expecting this to have like, miles and miles of plot is missing the plot. You know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah.
not you're not there for that. What you're there for is the moment where Brian doesn't cry about anything, but he gets like a little emotional when he sees Yoshi. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool,
That's
right?
it.
That
Yeah.
that's
Hmm.
that's cinematic magic right there.
That's it. Yeah. And good. Got Donald Glover in there. That's a good time. For
Mm.
sure. Playing Yoshi. I don't know that it needed to be Donald Glover to make the Yoshi noises. I would have liked a little bit more out of Yoshi, to be honest, in the movie.
Yeah,
But that's okay.
yeah. We
That's okay.
always leave them wanting more.
Leave him,
That's
leave him
leave
wanting
them wanting.
more.
That's
There you
right.
go. Absolutely. So, speaking of leaving them wanting more, that is exactly what we're going to do here on the podcast. So, I don't know. Did you have
Mm.
any parting thoughts? I think we pretty much kind of wrapped ourselves up right there with the Super Mario Galaxy movie. So, let's go ahead and just put a pin in this one. We're going to be back next week talking about something completely different. We did a couple of kids movies here the last 2 weeks. We've done this. We did Ninja Turtles: Secret of the Ooze. Part two there, so that was a good time talking about that. But next week we're going to be talking about something a little different. Uh, coming your way
Slightly.
next week. Yeah, slightly different, slightly different. So, yeah, let us know what you thought about Super Mario Galaxy. Let us know if you played the game. Let us know what your favorite Super Mario video game is. Let us know what your favorite Nintendo console is. Let us know if you played Star Fox. Let us know if you make a what was it? Apple
Sake
sake
apple
sour.
sour.
Sake apple sour. Say that 3 times fast. If you can do that, send us pictures, all that good stuff. And yeah, let us know what you thought about Super Mario Galaxy movies. So I think that's gonna wrap it up. So Michaela, until next time. Well, no, wait, we gotta do our shout outs. So make sure if you do any of that stuff, send it on our social medias. It's at
Mm.
Drink the Movies on
That
Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and Facebook.com/Drink the Movies. If you want to see pictures of the cocktails that we make. episode recaps, links to any of our things that can be found on the website. It's www.drinkthemovies.com. Go there, check that out. And yeah, like I said, just let us know if you've got any good cocktails, recommendations, any of that stuff. Send that on our social medias. Michaela, I mentioned something different and crazy next week, probably, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll be back with something next week. So where can people find that?
You can find us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Spotify. We're on YouTube now. We're, anywhere where Spotify podcasts are supported and distributed. You can find us on Good Pods. Yeah, the live stream stuff is pretty cool. If you want to hear us or see us, you can find us on all of that. Yeah, we do 2 drops a week. We do our lobby bar where we talk about everything box office and really easy cocktail that anyone, even you, can make. And then our deep dives like the one you just heard. So on your little rectangle, there's a button that says subscribe. And there's also a button where you can review this. And if you want to leave us a 5-star review, that'd be super awesome. Because that really helps us build the community. It helps you guys build your community because we just show up here and talk about the coolest things ever, like movies and cocktails. And it's all y'all that make it happen. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that is going to wrap it up here for this week's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time on
Drink
Drink
the
the
movies.
Movies. If I could give my command hook a score, it would be 0 stars. Thanks a lot, command.
The only thing missing was we didn't get Bowser singing Peaches at all, and I
No
was really
peaches.
hoping for a reprise. I really
Well,
wanted that.
it was the highlight of the movie that he did not. Thanks, Paige. Favorite
Thanks,
Luigi.
Cage. I love you. Sorry.
We did get the there was like he was telling the story when he was on the he's working on
Mm,
like the Chang gang and he tells her and there's like 1,000 like peaches, like hand-drawn peaches like around him as he's like telling the story. That was pretty fun. That was cute.
yeah. No. Unrequited love.